When Steel Talks, everybody listens.
So this is When Steel Talks, and we're out here in beautiful Brooklyn, New York. I mean, it's a fantastic, cool day. And we are taking the opportunity to sit down and speak with Sherwin Thwaites. Welcome to When Steel Talks.
Welcome. Thank you.
And, you know, I mean, it's been a perfect day.
It's a beautiful day.
All right, so...
It's a beautiful day in Brooklyn. I'm happy to be here.
So, tell us about the project, Can by Storm, The Storm Continues. What it's about and how you come up with it and why.
So, with the passing of Ken last week, I was invited to perform at a memorial concert for him by my friend Leonard Jack. Because I grew up in Panist Steel Orchestra with Leonard. He was one of my mentors, one of the older guys that kind of showed me the ropes. And he said, I want you to come and play for Ken, because Ken, he would be in our pan yard. I spent most of the 90s with Ken Professor Fillmore, either playing in Pan Masters when he would come in and work with us, or at Ellie Manette's workshops, as well as I went to Trinidad and performed with him with Potential Symphony. That was 94. That was actually my first panorama in Trinidad. So he said, you got to come perform for Ken. And I hadn't said much after his passing. Of course, it hit me, but I didn't really know how to respond.
And express.
Yeah. So gladly I said I would do this. So I called my friend and producer, Greg Jam's Music, who's working on my album. We've been working on the album. And I said, let's play Pan by Storm, but I want a different take on it. I want to see where we could take that storm. And we sat in his studio and we crafted out a beautiful arrangement. So I performed this arrangement at the concert. Concert is called Heart of Love. And someone took a video of it. And fast forward a few days, the power of social media, there's 20,000 hits on the video. It just was shocking to me. And I was humbled, oh my gosh, you did, I couldn't believe it. So the thinker in me said, let's record this. But I wanted to record it with musicians that he used in the DC area, young musicians, and I know tons of musicians, and I just called everyone. And my friend Craig, he has a studio, and we just crafted this arrangement and continued to change it and mold it, and we sent it out to the musicians. And 17 musicians responded. And it was a call. I called each one of them, and they came in one at a time on different days. So when you watch the video, you think that everyone is there at the same time. These are different sessions over about a month's time, different sessions. And from there, we had my brother-in-law as a videographer, so we had cameras, we had lights. So I was like, let's just capture the whole thing. So said, so done. We captured the whole thing. Then probably about April, Greg finished mixing and mastering. And then 2 weeks ago, a week ago, my wife finished the video. My wife, Erica, she edited the whole video and did all of the artwork for it. And what you see is finished product. And I was kind of fighting with when to release it because it passed and I was like, I gotta get this out. But I kind of just watched the news cycle. And when you think about the news cycle in the summer, it's focused on Panorama.
Yeah.
But I also thought this is a global project. And when I think of Ken, he was a global thinking person. So I was like, I want this to sit as a single, as a new take on the song as well. So, give it to the world and put it on social media, YouTube, iTunes, so wherever it reaches globally. And so, but then I was like, it would be poignant to release it on the day of his
anniversary, which was the 30th.
Which was the 30th
of September.
Yeah,
right.
the 30th of September. And it was released on that day. And
what's the feedback like?
The response has been overwhelmingly astounding, to say the least.
Put it mildly.
Yeah, I am humbled beyond belief. Thank you. I am humbled beyond belief. But it all just if you think about who Ken Professor Fillmore was, it makes sense that because people loved him. He was a lovable, likable person that had a big personality, and I'm glad that people have have accepted the piece
They've
of.
been able to relate to what you've done
Yeah.
together with the other musicians who came together. You used multiple bassists and drummers to create. What was the thinking behind that? And was it flavoring to change your personality or intensity? What did you have in mind?
So that's a great question. When you see some of the drummers, bassists, some of those guys actually played with Ken from his original band in DC. The band is called the International Connection. So a little backstory again. When in the '90s, when Ken was in DC, there were these pan jazz shows that they would have. They also had them in New York as well. And there was, World Beat Productions that would throw these pan jazz shows. And the rehearsals for all of these concerts were held in Pan Master's Pan Yard. So me as a 17-year-old impressionable tenor player would be at all of the rehearsals, and that's how I first met Ken. It's Ken Professor Fillmore, and we had Ken Professor Fillmore, Robert Greenidge, Bugsy,
Stalwart.
Andy, everybody.
Iconic names.
The Miles Davis, Charlie Parker of
Pan.
to me, and so
Indeed.
exactly. So I was able to meet most of these musicians. So some of the guys, they're a little older now. Some of the guys I used were those exact same players. The piano player, Federico Pina, he played Herbie, he plays Michele Diego cello, Maxwell. So these are the cream of the crop. These guys are the cream of the crop. And then I also wanted to infuse some of the youth. So one of the drummers, Jeremy Caesar,
Right, that's Bugsy's
is
nephew.
actually the nephew of Bugsy, and I just wanted to infuse different styles, different emotions, and that's what Ken was all about.
And this is what was reflected in the entire project.
He was him. He was in the know in everything that was cool. So therefore, you wanted to be like him. You aspired to be that cool. He once told me, he said, Sherwin, I might not play as good as Robbie or Bugsy, but I'm put a better show. And
See the point, yeah?
and
How you relate to your audience and what they take away from the entire experience.
yeah. And he was great at that. I've seen shows with him and Ken, Professor Fillmore, and there's lights and smoke, and he was a true showman. And that's one of the qualities that I really took away from him. And not to negate anything, because I think Bugsy, Robbie, Earl Brooks, all the rest of those guys are my idols as well. And I've taken different things from every one of them. They all mean a lot. And I think I may have, God forbid any of them pass, but I would have been in the same thought process for any of the others, just
As you have
because.
been for Fillmore.
Yeah, just
Okay.
because they deserve that.
Okay, a project like this always comes with some surprises along the way that one would not have anticipated.
Yeah.
So did you encounter such surprises, and could you mention one or two? And if you did, how did you deal with them?
So, for instance, the female vocalist, Erica Rain, I knew her through my brother, because she went to school in Boston. And really, I wanted her to sing on the project because she has an amazing voice, but didn't know where specifically. So I said, okay, I'll play the verse with the piano rubato by itself, and then said I'll have her sing the chorus. But this is an American girl. She sings soul music and R&B. So when she started, and the groove is R&B, soul, funky. So she couldn't sing Pan by Storm like Designer did. It wouldn't have made sense. So she sang it, and I said, just be yourself. And she sang it like herself.
She put her own stamp. It was her.
Because you can't have an R&B, you can't have an R&B singer not, she's an R&B singer, so why would I make her sing calypso?
But you knew this when you asked her to sing anyway. So you
Exactly.
brought her in for her own quality, her own essence.
Exactly, and I was kind of on the fence, you know, how she, the diction, but it came out amazing. And to Jenny Andrea Phillip, who wrote the lyrics, I spoke to her yesterday, and she was like, beautiful. That young lady was amazing. So the response
Has been good.
yeah, I think no one even batted an eye. In terms of other surprises, I think it's just the response.
Okay,
That's
pretty
the
cool.
biggest.
So how long did it take overall to record the project? Because you said you had people coming in at different points in time as per their schedules and everything was put together. But overall, from my say, from when you started to contact people to when it was in the can, ready to go.
About 6 months, five to 6 months, give or take, because you had the carnival period in there as well, and there, my engineer he was in Trinidad for carnival, so you had that period, and then after that, just going over, as you guys may know, 200 hours or so of video. Of video.
Oh,
And I mean, and can you imagine? I couldn't have given the project to anyone else but my wife, Erica Thwaites, who is a pad player. And you can imagine trying to sync iron.
yeah.
Like, how could I have given
Yeah.
sync that video to the audio? How could I have given that to any random
No.
video editor? It wouldn't have happened. So it worked out.
Perfectly.
Yeah, it worked out perfectly. I mean,
Perfect day, perfect storm.
yes.
Hey.
Exactly. So I couldn't have. It has turned out beyond
Excellent.
expectations.
Now, of course, as you know, and as you spoke before we went on camera, that the video is shot in black and white. So it was conceived in black and white, but did you shoot directly black and white? Was it shot in color, then transposed, or and what was the thinking overall behind that?
Again,
Erica had a lot to do with it.
again, my wife.
Your wife.
It was shot in color.
Okay.
We just shot video, and like I was saying, I was home one day, and she said, Sherwin, we're gonna make a movie. We're not making a movie. Just a video. She's like, we're gonna make a movie, and she said, get me a photograph of Ken, and so I contacted Sophia, his wife, and got a photograph because we had to get a photograph that she owned. And I'm looking at the screen that she's working from, and I see these storm clouds, and then I see Ken's face superimposed, and then I see one man, 17 musicians, one songs. That's when I knew. That's when I knew we had something in the studio, but when I saw the video, that's when I really knew. I said, this year is special. And we felt the same thing, and she changed it to black and white, and and I think a lot of it too was different times of the day, different color, trying to color correct. I think it made more sense to be a seamless piece of work that it was in black and white. I mean, and not to mention the horn players and my brother Sean, they recorded in California.
Yeah, because I wanted to find out about that. As you mentioned it, how was it recorded? I mean, you spoke of Jan's music, but some was done there.
Yeah.
And of course, you had musicians at other points, other places. I mean, how did it all come together? Who recorded where? Groups or solos at times. Talk a bit about that process.
It was, I mean, there were two locations. There was Greg Jam's Music in Maryland, and then there was Sacramento, California. Sacramento, California is where the horns were recorded, and my brother Sean recorded his part. But everything else was recorded in Maryland at Greg Jam's Music Studio, and it was different days. It was really interesting with people's schedules. People have lives.
No, they have like a project.
Yeah.
Their livelihood. Yeah.
And speaking of livelihood, no one asked for a penny.
Well, I didn't expect they would.
This was all.
They all gave from the heart.
This was all
From a place of love.
from a place of love. No one asked me for a penny. They didn't want for pro. They were doing it, and they just came in one by one on different days, and we set up schedules and recorded. And that it went pretty seamlessly, to be honest.
The energy was there.
Yeah, the energy was totally there. And I'm pretty sure he smiled. Pretty sure.
So what are your takeaways from this project? I mean, and also for Erica, your wife. I mean, this is her first, should I say, soul from the heart project as well. In terms of, yes, this is her work, but you know, as a pan musician herself, I mean, she was able to blend, you know, this artistic side, the musician side, the creativity side.
Yeah.
It was a first time project of that sort for her. Yeah.
I think, yeah, for her, for Greg Jam's music, who co-produced it with myself, it was because I've had ideas in the past of. I'm not going to speak on the idea that I have because I still make music. But I've had other like We Are the World type projects, gathering all of the pan players to do a project, and in the past I've had those ideas, but haven't come to fruition. And I think this was this. I had to do this one. So it kind of came to fruition that way. It was something that I was, the passing of a legend in music.
Many in the world.
Yeah, a legend. So it was something that we had to do. And yes, it was the first for myself, Erica, Brandon, who filmed the who did all of the videographer, and Greg James, who co-produced it with myself. So it was Brandon, that's Erica's brother. So it was a first for us to do it, and it showed us that, hey, okay, we could do a project on this level, and it's more not just the creative part, because I think that we all have, but it's logistics. Making it
that's
happen.
going to be interesting.
The logistics is what we learned and we figured out how to deal with. And even for like promotion, I look back and I'm like, because I want this to sit. It's sitting as a single, on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, everywhere you can get music. It's there, available. So it's me now. There's some missteps that I could have, did a little differently.
We look at them as challenges and stepping stones.
Yeah, and this, and I wasn't thinking about putting it on my upcoming album. I have an upcoming album entitled Chrome.
When is that going to be due?
Next year. Next year is the due date.
Next year's almost here.
So the middle of next year.
More precise. So Chrome.
Chrome, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Chrome.
And you can expect Perfect Storm, Pan by Storm. The storm will continue.
Yeah, and
on that.
I wasn't expecting to put it there, but
hey,
I have to now. It's there. And last year I released a single, Still You and Me, which will be on there as well. And I'll probably have another single coming out beginning of the year.
Some teasers before we
some teasers, because these days you kind of have to tease.
You have to actually remain in the flow.
Yeah,
and
it keeps
in the
you
consciousness.
Keeps you relevant.
Yeah, most important.
Yeah.
This is pretty good. Any final thoughts?
I think thoughts are the storm continues, because what Ken put down and what he left with us was a thinking that the instrument, speaking of the steel drum, the steel pan, is so much more. There's so much more than what we currently use it for, and he was always of that thinking. And I continue to want to push it. Until I hit the Grammy stage, I haven't.
As a recipient.
Yeah, as a recipient.
Thank you. Let's be clear.
Because Tripoli Steel Land in 1973 was nominated. They were nominated. And if you think, for me, I can speak for myself, Sean, and Sheldon. Like, that is definitely a goal for all of us. And the quality and the caliber of work that we put out is of that stature. And I don't shoot for anything less. So I love Panorama. I love the culture.
Anything to do with that art form.
But I think where I'm headed isn't necessarily there, because there are guys that do that amazing. Do that. And there's so many lanes.
But even with Kendall Andre, they're past that as well. That's just something that they do during the year in different countries.
Yeah.
But they are like yourself.
Yeah,
You know, they see beyond the panorama.
Yeah.
Routine
there's so many people there's so many lanes that we
that you
can
can
take.
traverse. Yeah.
Yeah, there's too many lanes that we can take, and I definitely want to be, when the history books are written, I want that Grammy next to
Well, we sure that's very good. Thanks a lot.
Thank
It's
you
good to
so
have
much.
here.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.